What up, Internet? Coming at you from Moriarty, New Mexico. Okay, I'm already having internet connection issues. I'm gonna let this truck go through. But yeah, it looks like reconnection was successful. We're still doing our thing. But yeah, still using the cellular data hotspot and this video conferencing webcam that I bought. You know, hopefully before I head back out west for the holidays, I will upgrade my whole streaming setup. You know, if I get Starlink internet, I might even want to cancel my AT&T. Although I do have quite good internet in St. Charles. We have AT&T fiber optic, so overall I'm very happy with the speed and the reliability there. So maybe I'll just be paying for double internet. We'll see. But yeah, I'm thinking if I had a Starlink just for the car, and then at least one dedicated dash cam, you know, I would want to put together some sort of cool OBS view that could integrate a dash cam that's like stuck to the windshield. You know, I would want things that can stick to the glass with suction cups or something. But like, I would want something, you know, looking out front through the windshield, and then also on the left and right sides, just, you know, stick something to the driver and passenger side windows. Maybe do the windows in the back. But yeah, that's something I'd like to experiment with. But yeah, I haven't gotten any new hardware for this whole situation. Thinking that'll come later. Probably once I go through the recordings I've made and upload those, so that the canonical car streams that I've done are not the choppy messes that they are when I'm broadcasting from the cellular data hotspot, but we can actually have some nice recordings. And yeah, when I get back to St. Charles with my AT&T fiber optic internet, yeah, I should be able to get those all uploaded pretty quickly. And then the next step is just getting some Mux AI agents to give me full transcripts for all of those. And then I'll be able to be incredibly productive, just taking notes by voice. I mean, I can do that anyway. I can put a voice note-taking app, but I don't generally do a lot of, like, productive thinking out loud about work when I'm in the car. You know, not least because when I'm making these long drives, I usually have some time off work. Although that is not the case right now. I'm just, which is why I was hoping to be in St. Charles tomorrow night, so that I could wake up in my own bed Monday morning and just get started on the week. But yeah, I'll see if I can make it as far as Joplin. It'll be just a few hours driving into St. Charles. But yeah, so I'll probably take my morning meeting at a coffee shop in Joplin. Maybe I'll take it at the Buc-ee's in Springfield. Anyway, how about some tunage?
Inventing situations.
stay in Barstow, but it seemed like it's too happening for me. But no, Boron is really it's a little resource town. It's the borax capital of the world. The main street there is called 20 Mule Team Road, like 20 Mule Team brand borax. What even is borax? What do you do with it? Is it for like laundry? But so yeah, I was in Boron, California, and yeah, so I drove all the way across Arizona, and I guess, what am I, about 2/3 of the way across New Mexico now? Each of Arizona and New Mexico are about 360 miles east-west, at least as far as the mile markers on Interstate 40 count them. And so, at 80 miles an hour, that's 4.5 hours. I think it's about 5 hours actually from Needles, California to Flagstaff, Arizona. And then it's another 5 hours from Flagstaff to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then yeah, from Albuquerque it's like 2 or 3 hours to Tucumcari. There's a billboard there. Tucumcari or Santa Rosa, somewhere a little farther east, and could make it all the way back to St. Charles in a day. That would put me at the Buc-ee's in Amarillo and the Buc-ee's in Springfield on the same day. So yeah, 239 miles to Amarillo, Texas at 80 miles an hour. It's about 3 hours. So yeah, we'll call it 3.5. I'm not going to be doing 80 the whole way there. But yeah, unfortunately, eastern New Mexico is not as pretty as western New Mexico and Arizona. The countryside gets a lot flatter and scrubbier east of Albuquerque, and so it's kind of a shame that I wasn't streaming yesterday, because you, dear viewer, missed out on some lovely countryside. But not like anyone ever reaches out to me to ask for more streams, so who cares? But also, I'm not happy with how this camera captures things on the side of the road. They're too flattened out, and so I want to be able to capture the really beautiful countryside with a better perspective. But I mean, the real reason I didn't stream yesterday is I just didn't feel like it. And yeah, part of it is I'm not exactly in the habit of making sure I have my streaming setup set up whenever I get in the car. But yeah, I generally put my suitcase in the back seat, my little overhead bin-sized suitcase, and it was already loaded up in the back seat when I headed out from Boron, and yeah, a couple times I stopped for gas. I thought, oh, should I start up a stream? But I didn't feel like it. Yeah, it's nice to be alone and not feel like I have to be just running my mouth to entertain an audience. Are you not been a busy few weeks. Been kind of all over the place. Mostly mentally, but I also did a fair bit of travel since I came out west. But yeah, it's been kind of a crazy time. Got a lot on my mind. Was in a more contemplative mood yesterday. Just wanted to be alone with my thoughts in the wilderness. I had missed being in the middle of nowhere. There's this gas station that's just a mile from my parents' house where I was staying most of the time I was in California. And I'm a semi-regular there because I like to walk down and get myself some coffee in the morning. And they used to have a case of donuts from this local donut shop that I really like. Shout out to Fresh Donuts in San Luis Obispo. Not a sponsor. But yeah, as of this year, they actually expanded their pastry case, but they don't have donuts from Fresh Donuts anymore. They have muffins. The blueberry and chocolate muffins are both very good, and they have cinnamon rolls. I also like the cinnamon rolls, but sometimes I'm in the mood for a donut. But so I was thinking, like the last time I was at this gas station, I got myself a coffee, and the lady behind the counter recognized me, and she was asking me why I'm not signed up for their rewards program, and I felt like I didn't have a good answer because I do go there semi-regularly, but also I felt like I don't live here. I'm just visiting. And yeah, I have a kind of deep distrust of systems. I don't like being part of the system, having to make myself and my activity legible to the system. Although I was just talking about auto-generating video transcripts. That's a different thing. Because that's my system. I can shut it down whenever I want. But I told her, I like being nobody. I like being anonymous when I go and get myself a little treat in the morning. Yeah, they didn't have a nice pastry selection at the travel center convenience store I went to. A bunch of shirts and hats and fun stuff like that, but not a great selection of sweet treats. And yeah, unfortunately, I didn't find like a coffee shop around Moriarty. Like about making these long drives, just everywhere I go, I'm just passing through. And I have no relationships